everybody, and welcome to episode 104 of the This Old Knit podcast. I am your host, Nina, otherwise known as Ine on Ravelry, Instagram, and Pinterest, and you can find show notes for this episode and all previous episodes on the corresponding numbered thread of the Ravelry group. So thank you for joining me. Welcome to all new viewers. Welcome back to all returning viewers. I appreciate you coming back every week or every 2-3 weeks to see what I have to say and share. And for those of you just joining me, welcome. So it has been, I think, 3 weeks since I podcast last. And as you can tell by the wet hair, I'm kind of doing this on the fly. So my husband Josh changed his gym schedule because the parking at the gym has been pretty challenging on Saturdays. So he actually has not been going to the gym on Saturdays, and that has made it really hard for me to find time to podcast because both the kids are here. But he is at the store right now with Joshua, and Megwin is playing at the neighbors, so I maybe have 20 minutes that I can throw a podcast together before things start to get loud and crazy. So I'm going to do what I can. But I have stuff to show you, so I wanted to make sure that I put something out there. I did not have time to draw for winners for the Q1 prizes for the Stash Your Shelf Challenge. That's the only knit-along I have going currently. It is a year-long knit-along, and essentially what it is knit from either stash or knit something from a pattern that you already own. It can be either from a book, magazine, a pattern on Ravelry. It doesn't have to be one you purchased. It could be a free one, or something you borrow from the library. But you have to have had it as of December 31st, 2018. So before January. I mean, if you're doing something from December 31st, questionable, but fine. But the idea is to rediscover the patterns that we thought were great when they first came out, or to rediscover things in our stash that we forgot we had, or maybe we have newer yarn that's more exciting, but we did have things at one point that we wanted to make with that yarn that we've had. So this is my second year doing it, and I'm having a lot of fun. I made a lot of things last year that were either from my stash or shelf, and I really enjoyed the process of just thinking about it and looking through patterns. I've rediscovered a lot of things that I really did want to make and still do want to make. And then I've also discovered there's some books and magazines I have that I don't want to make anything from anymore. So it's great from that perspective too, to get those cleared out and make room for things that I do love. I'm trying to think if I got anything that I need to show. No, I don't think so. From a book perspective, I don't think so. Because I had the Lane 4 in the last episode that my sister bought me for my birthday. So I think 4? Jesus, is it only 4? 4 or 5 or 6? I don't know. The latest one, my sister bought it for me for my birthday. So I did have that as of the last podcast. I also subscribed to Making, but I haven't received the first issue yet for this year. So, anyway, long-winded, but every quarter I will draw a winner from the FO's thread, and I will also draw one from the chatter thread. So you do not have to be done with your thing to enter. So just chat away, make sure that you put a post in, and I will put like a marker post so that I know I'm drawing from this post to this post. And yeah. Coddington, who is Autumn, generously donated a project bag, and it did arrive safely. I had a pretty brutal work week last week, so I was essentially coming home and going to sleep. There were nights I didn't even eat dinner because I was so busy. So this week I'm kind of trying to, or rather this weekend, I'm trying to catch up on all of the life stuff that I put aside to do work stuff. So I'm holding an acquisition in my hand. I wasn't ready to do acquisitions, so I'm not really sure where I'm holding it. So I'm going to put it somewhere till I'm ready to show it. As far as knitting goes, I really have not been knitting on a lot of different stuff. However, I do have an FO. And I was a test knitter for the As You Like It sweater pattern by Sally Jane Cameron, who is Pink Hair Girl Knits on Ravelry and Instagram, I believe. I've completed my sweater as of this morning. The ends are not woven in yet because I literally just cast it off. But I'm so happy with how it turned out, guys. So here it is. And I really love it. So I knit it out of 4 different colors. And these were all colors that were in my stash from various points. The red one on the top is Malabrigo Sock in the brick colorway. This one has been in my stash since 2009, and it was a gift from some friends. This brown variegated color, I have no idea who the dyer is behind it, but I want to make sure I really get those multicolored speckles in because this was the genesis of this entire sweater, and I think it really brings it all together. So this came from my Aunt Lynn's stash, who passed away, and my mom, sister, and I split up the majority of her stash, and then some of it went to their knitting group as well. So I really enjoyed being able to knit up one of her yarns, and I think she'd be really happy with the result of seeing it in a completed sweater. The next one is Volenvine Yarns on the Volca base, and this is in the Pumpkin Kombucha colorway. This one, again, is a gift, and Kristen gifted it to me at Rhinebeck, which was the first time that we got to meet in person. It was actually at India Entangled, but she gave this one to me at Rhinebeck this past year. And then the last color, which I wasn't able to get 2 stripes of all of them, but I think the yellow really works being the one that's kind of in the middle and not used again in the sweater. Just because of the length, I couldn't do it. So this one is also Volenvine Yarns Volca in the Harpsichord base. And I purchased this one a while ago. I don't remember when, but I believe it still had an old hangy tag from before Kristen switched to the wrap type labels. So it was pretty old, but it could have been the earlier version of her tags that had like a Bella on them. They had like a little kitty. So anyway, I'm really, really pleased with the effect of it. Because I only had 1 skein of this variegated brown, even though it was a very generous skein, I think it was like 510 to 520 yards. That's the only way I was able to use so much of it in the sweater. I did not have enough to make full-length sleeves. I literally have maybe like 8 grams left of the entire ball. So if I had done another stripe and then ended in the Pumpkin Kombucha, I also felt like that wouldn't be as cohesive because I was going to go back and use the red on the top, and I liked that I ended with the red stripe on the sleeves as well. So I went for 3/4 sleeves, and because it's a little bit lighter of a fabric, I really feel like it'll work for spring. And with a nice pair of either dark brown or wine colored shorts, I think it would be really cute to have this thrown over for kind of a more going into the evening type outfit. You know, if you're going to be outside for a bonfire or something like that, this is a nice sweater to throw on and still look pulled together. The feature on it, though, is these great garter triangle pattern panels that are going down the sides. So they really pull the waist in. So it doesn't have any shaping, but it really feels like it does when you're wearing it because of those garter triangle panels. They're also mirrored on the sleeve, but again, because I didn't make full-length sleeves, come back. Hello. Now it won't. Okay. Because I didn't make full-length sleeves, I did not have the length to be able to add that feature. But it is written in the pattern. The pattern is great. It's very well written. I did not actually have any edits to it. And it allows you to customize. So it isn't written... is it written to have stripes? It's written so you can calculate what size you want your stripes to be, or you can knit it just one color. You could knit it, she used an ombre set of yarns and did like the ombre stripes. I think one was going up one way and one down the other way. So she used two stacks of ombre yarn. And yeah, I'm really happy with my colors. I'm happy with how the knitting went. I'm just really pleased overall with it. So I just need to wash it and block it, but I did not do that because I wanted to be able to show it to you today. And so there it is, the As You Like It sweater. Okay, they're on their way home. I've got to hurry. So I have a sewing finished object as well this week, and this one was a little bit of a snafu, if I'll be honest. So I made a dress for Megwin for her spring concert. This one is the Girl on the Go dress by Oliver and S, but it's like their tween pattern series. So it has a facing inside of it, and drop shoulders, set-in sleeves type construction. It has this very cute little tie on the front, which is not tied in a knot, but you know, they're nice long ties, so you could do a knot or a bow if you wanted to. Other than that, it's a really straightforward jersey dress. I made it out of this super cute Cat's fabric. And this is Doodles fabric from Joann's. You can still get it online, but it's really not available in stores. So how it got messed up is that I did not measure Megwin. Or rather, I measured her. I know what her measurements are, but the ruffly dress that I did before came out pretty form-fitting. So I did a size 12 thinking I was going to have extra room for her to grow into it and keep wearing it well into the fall and maybe next winter. And then when she put it on, it was really form-fitting. So like it fits her right now, but she'll be lucky if she can wear it in the fall again. She might be able to because she doesn't tend to grow very much. But we'll see. So then I went to this pattern and I was like, oh, well, I definitely want to use a size 12 because the 12 on the other pattern was like just the right size. Don't do that. If you're just learning to sew, take this advice. Patterns are not the same size, regardless of whether or not they are the same listed size on the pattern. Go by your measurements. I know this. I've been sewing since I was like 6 or 7 years old. I don't know why I did this. So I didn't even look at the measurements on the pattern for the finished garment. I just did it, and then I put it on her. Even when I was cutting it out, I was like, this looks like a dress that would fit me. I'm really concerned here. Me without, you know, boobs. But, yeah. So I sewed it up. I tried it on her. And she was just swimming in it. Just swimming in it. So I was pretty freaked out. I was like, great, this dress is a total disaster. What am I going to do? So I was like, okay. I just basted. I don't know why I feel like there's something in my mouth. I basted seams on the sides and on the shoulders and kind of took it in and had her try it on. And that seemed like it did it, but I had to bring in like 1.5 inches on either side and then about the same amount on the shoulders, and I kind of tapered it toward her sleeve. So it worked out. It's okay. I cut off a lot of excess fabric, but it's fine. It's done. We bought some shoes to go with it, so that's good. I recommend the pattern. It's a good pattern. Just don't do what I did, because seriously, this is going to be the day of a million cuts. So that's that. And then we had a movie night at the elementary school that Megan goes to, and so I cast on a sock so I could knit on it while we were watching the movie. And we watched Ralph Breaks the Internet, which was super cute, by the way. I recommend that movie. It's really good. And I got a skein of Mondum sock yarn, which I totally blame Tommy from Squirrel Pie Productions for this, because she made socks out of this, I think knee-highs, and I really love them. So I got it from the Woolly Thistle. They were sold out of this color for a while. It's color 207. Doesn't have a name. But it's this really pretty brown, mint, and pink color. And I really like it. So I cast it on, and I got through the ribbing before the movie started, which is good because I don't want to do ribbing in the dark. But I managed to do the stockinette without dropping any stitches, which is always good. So that's what it looks like so far. And I really like it. So I have a stitch marker on there from Adelaide Cottage, from her Gilmore Girls collection. And so that's, you know, a plain vanilla sock, which I haven't felt like knitting for a while, so I was happy that I sort of felt like doing that again. It's autofocus. Needs serious help. And then the last thing I've been knitting on is my Husbeast sweater. And I've made some really good progress, guys. So I'm pretty proud of that. So I am knitting the Gramps cardigan by Tin Can Knits. And I'm knitting it for my husband in like one of the biggest sizes. So I have completed the part of the increases where you're increasing the front panels as well. So now I'm just doing the increases on the sleeves. It's way bigger than this, but this is on a 40-inch cable. It needs to be increased more to fit him. I have a Little Bitty Delights Progress Keeper on there. Blueberry Shortcake for Suki and Jackson. Also Gilmore Girls themed. And I'm using all my little Progress Keepers from Rhinebeck. So these are the Katrinkles Rhinebeck set for this year. I've shown them on other podcasts before, but this one says Rhinebeck or Bust. They're just lots of little sweaters. This one has the year on it. So I'm really happy I got over the hump on all of those stitches. I have like almost 400 stitches on the needles right now in worsted weight yarn. This is Barocco Vintage in some kind of blue color. It's really boring because it's very monotone, and yeah. This is also from my Aunt Lynn's stash though, and frankly I made it because I have enough of it to make a sweater for my husband, so that's why I chose that yarn. And it's also pretty durable, so it'll be good like if he really mucks it up in the woods. It is machine washable. We hand wash all of our knits, but if it got really awful and mucky, I have that option. And that is all of my whips. Yay! As far as acquisitions, I got these super beautiful bobbins from Patricia, who is Knitography and P4Chen on Instagram. So she makes them in Norway, and she also makes mitten blockers and sock blockers. She's pretty well known for those, and I believe stitch markers as well. But I had been looking for something for my cross stitch thread that wasn't those plastic bobbins because they bug me, and it takes forever to wind onto them because you have to like layer over and over and over again. And these are bigger, and they're made of wood, so that's nice. They're really thick, as you can see, but this top little thing actually fits on those little metal rings that you know, open and close, that you can get for embroidery floss. So I have a couple of those, and I've started switching over to these. So I think I got a pack of 36. No, I got a pack of 18. And I believe they were $36 with shipping. So it was really affordable, considering that, you know, she makes them and they have this nice laser burned pattern, and they're really thick and high quality, and I'm happy to, you know, have them in my stash. And then was Gabby from the Once Upon a Corgi podcast was showing that she was making a pair of shorts. And I have one pair of shorts right now, and they are athletic shorts. So if we try to go out somewhere, those kind of aren't really acceptable. So she was using the Lander shorts pattern from True Bias. She downloaded it. It's not actually available on the website anymore as a print pattern, but I found a seller on Etsy who I did not bring the business card for, but she sells a lot of patterns that have gone out of print, and this one is one of the ones she stocked. So I got this one, and it also comes as pants or shorts, so it's got a button fly, which is nice. Kind of helps them fit a little better too. So there's the shorts or pants variety. It has shorts, pants to wear with flats, and then it has a modification, so it gives you the length for if you want to wear them with heels. I also picked up the moss skirt from Grainline Studio. This one Kristen has made out of a sparkly chambray fabric. I really liked it when she showed it off. I love skirts that have pockets. So I'm excited to make some of these in the shorter and longer version. And then the last one is also Grainline Studio, and it is the Maritime shorts. So they have pockets and are more traditional with a zipper, I believe. Yep, inserting a fly, basic hemming. Yep. So you can use denim, you know, medium weight fabrics. So I'm pretty excited to have some shorts. I hate shopping, so that'll be fun. And I also feel like as it gets warmer, I feel more like sewing. So there's that. And then think it was Meg had a sale, and she had a sweaters quantity of her You're Just as Sane as I Am colorway. I really have loved this colorway for a while, so I went ahead and picked up 3 skeins of it. It's a really pretty lavender, blue, and purple. And I think I'm going to knit it with a yarn I didn't bring out here. Turquoise on the top of like a yoke, a circle yoke pattern with color work. And I'm going to do the Arata sweater, A-R-A-T-A, by Jennifer Steingass. And she has it in 2 colors or 1 color in the sample. So I'm going to do mine with just 1 contrasting color all over. And that color I've actually had in my stash for a really long time. It is fiber optic yarn, and I bought it originally to make octopus mittens. I'm not going to make those, I don't think. So it'll be nice to use that up. And then I have a bright orange, which I think I might make into a hat for Joshua. It's right there. It's that crazy day glow orange. Because that was going to be the octopus. But yeah, I will just use it for him for hat instead. I got some patterns too. So this one is Tiu, I believe, which is the Maori word for robin. And it's a really pretty top down, no, it's bottom up, summery top. And I think it's A-line shaped, but it has this really pretty lace panel going down the middle all the way down. And it's designed by Francoise Denoy, and she is Aroha Knits on Instagram. She has a lot of really beautiful patterns. There's a couple different views of it. My printout is a little bit light. But, I'm sorry, it's a sparrow, not a robin. I knew it was one of the common birds that you see all the time. And for that, I'm going to use this. My lovely Jilted Rose that never ended up being a Sipla sweater. I've repurposed the purple I was going to use with it, so I only have 2 balls of it, but it would make a great summer top, and that is more than enough for that. We tuck that back in there. And then here, in this terrible printout, is Arata. It gives you 2 sleeve options, either this sort of working straight down and then bringing it way in for the cuff, or a more tapered. I'm going to do more tapered because I don't really like this look for my arms. Looks really good on some people though. So it'll just be all the You're Just as Sane as I Am, and then that really bright blue turquoise up on the top. And then another person who I really, really love following, her Instagram, her stories are amazing. They're really inspiring, and there's always something cool in them. Tyne Swedish, T-Y-N-E Swedish. She every once in a while will gift people patterns on Ravelry. And she randomly gave me this pattern, Radiate by Joji Locatelli. And it is one that I definitely want to knit. It is a DK weight sweater, and you work like on the top of the yoke, you use like a very contrasty color to the rest of the body. And I think it's slip stitches. I don't think it's actually brioche, but I don't remember. But it's a really cool effect. So Joji used like a undyed cream and then a hot pink on the top. I think I'm going to use Fool's Gold held double. Just this guy. From Hedgehog Fibers. And then I'm going to use the Merino Yak silk yarn that I have from No Makers, because I still have a lot of that. So I will hold that double for the body of the sweater. So this will be the pop of color on the top held double, and then that will be the body of the sweater held double. So it's the same yarn I used for my Zweig, my Zweig pullover as the body of the sweater. And then I will have used that up, and yeah, I think it'll be fun to have that nice yellow on the top, but then it won't be too much. I'm not sure I could pull off a full yellow sweater, but a nice contrast would be good. So thank you so much for the gift of this pattern, Pine Swedish. I love your Instagram. Every day I look at your stories first, and I always find something that's inspiring or makes me think, which is great. And then Helen Stewart was having a, not at EYF sale, and she released a new pattern for EYF called the Edinburgh Lanes shawl. So I purchased that. I think it's in 2 colors. So I have a couple of 2-color combos that I've been looking for stuff to make into a shawl. So I just need to have a pick through my stash and remind myself of which ones I have that will give me sufficient yardage to make this up. But it is a triangular shawl, which I love. And Helen Stewart doesn't design that many triangular shawls, to be honest. She tends to do a lot of pie shawls, semicircular shawls. Yeah, so I was pretty pleased to see this one pop up, and yep, so there it is. It's pretty big, so it's kind of similar to the shawl I have by Joji Locatelli, which the washed out shawl. It's kind of similar to that one, and I wear that one a lot. I really like the size of it. And then another pattern that came out around EYF time frame is the Little Yellow Sweater, or LYS, by Andrea Mowry. And this one I really love. I'm not going to make mine cropped though. It's a cropped sweater, but I think it will be really easy to just extend it a little bit and make it a full-length cardigan. And I am going to use my Cat Sandwich Fibers yarn that I bought at BKL. So I'm going to get that label out of there so you can see the colors. But it's a really delicate yellow with these beautiful pops of color and the speckling. It's called Lemon, or Italian Ice. Sorry, Italian Ice. It's on her glitzy base. So it is, gold stellina, 75-25. So 75% merino, 20% nylon, 5% gold stellina. So I'm going to use that for my LYS. And I think it'll be fun to have like the speckling and stuff too, but it shouldn't be like so much that it's overpowering, and that'll be a really nice cardigan. So those are all the patterns that I purchased or was gifted. So I think now that I've completed, oh wait, got one more thing. The last thing I bought is that Keepaloo Fields was having a spring break sale in their shop. and it was like 30% off, which is a really great deal. So I had been considering one of these rainbows. So it's a garden, this one's a garden rainbow. And hello, little marker face. We can go wash it off, it's washable. So it is a gradient, and it's made up of mini skates. I think they're about 20 yards each. No, 92 times 10. So there's 10 of them at 92 yards each. So it's 920 yards. So I'm thinking like a gradient short sleeve sweater that's like a lightweight. This would be really pretty for spring. So it is on their 75-25 merino nylon base, sock weight. Isn't it just so pretty? There's like this dark bluish gray. It's pretty blush color, peach, cream. So I think I would actually start up here with this color and work my way down. It's really pretty though, I love it. So that was the last thing that I purchased. And I actually need to purchase my Solidarity Swap skein. My partner is traveling. She went to EYF and then she's been kind of traveling all over Europe since then. So I don't have her preferred address, and I didn't know if she wanted me to ship directly to that address or if I should order it here and then ship it as a pack. I do have a couple of other things I'm going to add in because she's originally from Connecticut, so I asked her what she might like me to include, and I'm going to put in a couple of things for her kids too. So that's my Pink Blue Fields. And then as far as casting on new stuff, because I'm done with my sweater, I think I'm gonna cast on my Pink So Faded. So that, just to remind you all, is gonna start with this yarn, which is Thaw. It is from the, no, it's Curious. This one's Curious. From the collection that Kristen put together for the Impressionist MCAL last year for a Helen Stewart shawl, and I decided not to knit it, but I already had bought the yarn for it. So these are all in the Blitz space of Wool and Vine. So Curious. My next colorway will be Crazy Purple Bouquet. And it looks really purple, but it's got a lot of pink in it. It's got a lot of the pink in it, that pale pink. This one is really, really old, and it was a one-of-a-kind. Then next, I will do Wool and Vine number 9. And finish off with this one, which is Vixen from the Lost Reindeer Yarn Club that was in December. So all of these are old stash yarns in varying degrees of how long they've been in my stash. Anywhere from 3 years to a couple of months. But yeah, all except for the Crazy Purple Bouquet were in before the end of the year. So I think I'm going to cast that on today. Nice thing about the fact that I've knit so many So Faded pullovers is that I know exactly which needles to use. I've used that exact base of yarn before, so I can just cast on and go. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Oh. And then along with the Mondem sock yarn, I actually picked up another skein of it. So this one I thought would be a nice prize for the cow. So this will probably be the next quarter prize. So I think I will do the bag and a pattern for this quarter, and then Q2 will be this sock yarn and maybe some stitch markers. I have some stitch markers that I've got like a little collection of them, and maybe I'll sew a bag, but I don't know. We'll see how my time is. But this one is colorway 202. It's a really nice beefy sock yarn. So it feels a little bit like Opal, but maybe a little more squishy than that. I don't know how to describe it. The one thing to keep in mind is it doesn't have any nylon, so it's 100% Portuguese wool with no nylon in it. So I was thinking originally this for my husband for socks, but that's ridiculous. He already wears through them with nylon. So this would just be asking for holes. So yeah, it will go to one of you as part of a giveaway prize. So that is everything I have for this week. As far as podcasts I've been watching, I've been catching up on Earth Tones Girl. I met Denise at Rhinebeck, and you know, I've just been catching up on her podcasts. She's actually doing a sock cow right now. If you are interested in knitting socks, she is doing one, and the theme is essentially just knit socks and don't be afraid to knit them. And then I've also just discovered the Quirky Monday Craft Cast with Kalisha, and I found her podcast through Tommy's podcast, Squirrel Pie Productions, and I've really been enjoying it so far. Unfortunately, she just finished the Aquarius cows, so I would have definitely put something in that because I love kind of that color palette of the sea blues and greens and stuff. But yeah, you should definitely check her out. Her podcast is really great. I love that she mixes in sewing. She also crochets quite a lot, and it's really nice to see people doing that and podcasting about it, because not a lot of people mix in knitting and crocheting and sewing. It seems like people tend to be either like all crocheting or all knitting, and if it's all crocheting, I don't usually look at it because I am terrible at crocheting. I really am. So yeah, she's a good one to check out, and definitely the same for Denise. So Earth Tones Girl and the Quirky Monday Craft Cast. So I'm gonna get off of here now because Joshua is back and we're gonna start making dinner, and I need to get things ready for the week. So until next time, I will talk to you guys soon. And I did say Joshua. Oh. Have fun doing the things you love, and until next time, bye guys.